just a few months ago, on September 19, 2025, President Trump signed a proclamation that not only shook up the H-1B visa program, but also caused a full-blown earthquake for employers. We're talking about a brand new, eye-watering $100,000 fee and a total rethink of who even gets a shot at a visa. If you hire foreign talent, everything you thought you knew changed overnight. Ignoring these changes isn't just a bad idea. It's simply not an option. So, what do you actually need to do about it? That's what we're here for. We're going to cut through the confusion and break down the 3 biggest changes, what they mean for your bottom line, and give you a clear, actionable strategy to stay competitive and compliant in this wild new landscape. This proclamation, which officially kicked in on September 21st, 2025, wastes no time in completely restructuring the H-1B program. The White House says it's about protecting American workers, but the real-world effect is a seismic shift for any company that relies on global talent. First, and most shocking, is the new fee. The proclamation slaps a mandatory $100,000 fee on certain new H-1B petitions. Now, let's be clear, this is a one-time charge per petition, not a recurring annual fee. At first, there was a lot of confusion, causing panic among current visa holders. But we have more clarity now. This fee is specifically for H-1B petitions filed on or after September 21st, 2025, for people who are physically outside the United States and don't already have an H-1B. Official guidance says this payment must be made electronically before the petition is filed, and you have to include the receipt with your paperwork. Petitions that show up without proof of payment will be flat out denied. This brings us to the most important part, the exemptions. Who doesn't have to pay? The $100,000 fee does not apply to petitions filed before the September 21st deadline. It also doesn't apply to current H-1B holders, even if they travel. And here's the key. It doesn't apply to petitions for extensions, amendments, or a change of status for someone already legally in the U.S. This is huge, especially for companies hiring graduates from American universities who are on an F-1 student visa, since they're already here. Their petitions are generally exempt from this monster fee, creating a massive strategic advantage. For the rare cases where a company faces extreme hardship, there's a tiny escape hatch, a national interest exception. The Secretary of Homeland Security has the power to grant an exception if the worker is vital to the national interest and paying the fee would hurt the U.S. This is an incredibly high bar to clear and requires a formal request that has to be approved before you even file the H-1B petition. The second major change is who gets priority. For years, the H-1B has been a pure lottery system. This proclamation directs the government to create new rules that prioritize high-skilled, high-paid workers, while the details are still being worked out. The message is loud and clear. They're moving away from a random lottery and toward a system that rewards higher salaries. This means entry-level and lower-paid specialty jobs are going to have a much tougher time getting selected. And third, get ready for way more scrutiny. The Department of Labor has announced Project Firewall, a new initiative to crack down on H-1B hiring practices. This signals a much more aggressive oversight environment. You should expect more audits, more questions about your recruitment of U.S. workers. and more focus on your wage and hour practices. This isn't just a new fee. It's a new era of enforcement. So, what does this all mean for your company's bottom line? These aren't just abstract policy ideas. They have immediate and serious consequences. For small businesses and startups, that $100,000 fee to hire someone from abroad could be a death blow. A huge corporation might be able to swallow it as a cost of doing business. But for a startup, it could mean scrapping a project or not hiring a critical engineer. Suddenly, the total cost for one overseas hire could top $105,000, effectively pricing small and mid-sized companies out of the global talent market and stifling innovation. Tech, healthcare, and other specialized industries are on the front lines. These sectors have long used the H-1B program to fill talent gaps. While many of these companies already recruit heavily from US. Universities, which is now a huge financial advantage. Not being able to easily hire senior-level experts from abroad is a major problem. It shrinks the talent pool and could make labor shortages in key STEM fields even worse. And the risk of getting it wrong? It's severe. Filing a petition without the fee gets you an automatic denial, which means wasted time and other non-refundable filing fees. But the bigger risk is strategic. Companies that don't adapt their recruiting will be left in the dust. While your competitors pivot to the F1 student talent pool here at home, you could be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars you don't need to, or worse. Find yourself unable to fill key roles at all. The rules have changed, and sticking to the old playbook is a losing strategy. All right, enough with the problems. Let's talk solutions. In this new H-1B world, you have to be more strategic than ever. Here are 3 things you can do right now. First, your number 1 priority should be expanding your domestic recruiting pipeline, especially for F1 international students graduating from US universities. As we've covered, hiring someone already in the US and changing their status from F1 to H-1B means you're exempt from the $100,000 fee. This isn't just a good idea anymore. It's the most important cost-saving strategy you have. Start building relationships with university career centers and use the optional practical training program. The OPT program lets F1 students in STEM fields work for up to 3 years after graduation, giving you a long runway to see their talent firsthand and sponsor them for an H-1B without that giant fee. Second, look at other visa options for your top-tier talent. The H-1B isn't the only game in town. For truly exceptional people, the O-1 visa for individuals with extraordinary ability is a fantastic alternative. It has a high bar, but it's not subject to the H-1B cap or the new fee. For multinational companies, the L-1 visa for intercompany transfers lets you bring managers or employees with specialized knowledge from your foreign offices. Both have their own hurdles, but they just become a lot more attractive for bringing key people into the US. Third, you absolutely must double down on compliance and documentation. Create an internal checklist for every single H-1B case. The first question should always be, is the person inside or outside the US? If they're outside, your process now has to include that $100,000 payment and proof you paid it. If they're inside, document their current, valid status to prove why you're exempt. With Project Firewall looming, you need to meticulously document your recruitment efforts for US. Workers for every role. Assume you'll be audited. Perfect records are your best defense. This fight isn't just happening at the agency level. It's also heating up in the courts and in Congress. As you might expect, the $100,000 fee was immediately met with fierce legal challenges. A coalition of 20 states, led by California, has filed a lawsuit arguing that the president overstepped his authority. Business groups like the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and organizations like the Association of American Universities have launched their own legal battles, too. They all claim the administration violated federal law by creating a punitive fee without going through the proper process. While these lawsuits play out, the fee is still in effect, but their outcome could throw this whole policy out the window. At the same time, a bipartisan bill is back in Congress that could make even bigger changes. The H-1B and L-1 Visa Reform Act of 2025, introduced by Senators Grassley and Durbin, aims to make many of these goals permanent law and go even further. It proposes a system that officially prioritizes workers with higher education and higher salaries. It would also force employers to post H-1B jobs on a government website for 30 days before filing and would extend protections for U.S. workers. The bill also includes a hard cap. For companies with 50 or more employees, no more than half of their workforce could be H-1B or L-1 visa holders. This bill has been introduced in the Senate and sent to the Judiciary Committee, proving that H-1B reform is a long-term legislative battle, not just a temporary executive order. So, let's recap. The new H-1B rules have dropped. DA bombshell, a $100,000 fee for hiring from abroad. A major push away from the lottery toward a wage-based system, and the promise of aggressive enforcement. The impact is huge, especially for smaller businesses and tech companies. To succeed, you have to get strategic. Focus your recruitment on F-1 students already in the U.S. To legally avoid the fee, explore other visas like the O-1 and L-1 and keep your compliance records spotless. The ground has shifted, and adapting is the only way forward. For more updates on the court cases and what's happening in Congress, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. This situation is changing fast, and we'll be here to give you the clear, actionable guidance you need. Thanks for watching.